Hi everybody, this is Kevin, and welcome back to another manga review. And today I'm going to be sharing my thoughts on Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest Volume 4 from Hiro Mashima and Atsuo Ueda. So a lot of things happened in the last volume, including the introduction of yet another new character, Ignia, the fire dragon god, who arrived, was taunting Natsu a little bit, but in a certain sense, that was a pep talk for Natsu to overcome and defeat Mercphobia, the water dragon god, who he was able to seal away his powers and turn Mercphobia back into a human. And Mercphobia is now a good guy, so he's going to help rebuild the village and, look after the townspeople. So that's all good. That's the first of the 5 dragon gods defeated and sealed away. So our heroes moved to the city of Drazel, which at the end of Volume 3, we learned that Drazel resides on the back of Alderaan, the wood dragon god, who you can see right there. And there's actually 5 cities scattered around his back, his neck, his arms. It's crazy, man. So lots of good stuff. There's also the plot point with Toka, the white mage, who has made the entire Fairy Tail guild her pawns. And you see that in this volume. It's the Battle of Fairy Tail all over again. Well, I guess this is technically Phantom Lord, right? Because we got Natsu going up against Gajiel, but they make reference in the volume that it's Battle of Fairy Tail all over again when they fought Loxus's group. So some good stuff right there. We saw Juvia again, who was the one member. Well, the curse didn't really work on her. It kind of did. She can't use her magic powers, so she arrived to warn Gray and the others that Toka has corrupted the entire Fairy Tail guild. So let's get right to it. We got a beautiful cover here featuring Alderaan. There's Toka the white mage, Gajiel going up against Natsu, and my favorite, my girl, Lucy, with her new form, the Stardress mix, and she looks like an absolute angel right there. I mean, just look at her. Beautiful. So, let's get right to it. And, oh, there's Sabretooth, yeah. I think they were at Fairy Tail in the last volume, and they're like, oh, where'd everyone go? So, they're trying to investigate. Jalal was in the Fairy Tail Guild as well, and he's been corrupted. And you kind of see it right there. What's going on there? It's Jalal and Urza in all sorts of outfits. Oh, more on that later. So anyway, yeah, Juvia passed out after telling them, so they're looking after her. And they're they're on Alderaan. I think they're on number 5, but there's 5 different cities there. And my question is, how come Natsu doesn't have motion sickness from this giant dragon walking around? But I guess he's not technically a vehicle. He only gets motion sickness from vehicles. So they're looking around when Natsu, Lucy, and Urza, I think Happy's with them as well, they start looking around the city, and they come across this old dude who's like, oh, Alderaan-sama, or so I've heard, I'll take you there. So this guy's acting as a guide, but little do they know it's a trap. And meanwhile, Wendy and Gray are staying behind looking after Juvia. So they go in there, and they see there's a bunch of cultists. The Church of the White Mage, or so I've heard. And it turns out one of them is Mirajane, who starts hugging Urza and is like, oh, you will join us, Urza, and then getting ready to punch her. So Urza has to defend herself, and they all take off their hoods, and there you go. It's it's the entire Fairy Tail Guild, jobbers and all. Look, we even got Makrov in his wheelchair, Panther Lily, Romeo, but there's Jalal, Gajiel, Loxus, the whole group, man. So they're all corrupted. There's a bit of inconsistency here, which I'll mention when we get to the fights, but I'll say it now. Toka, the white mage, is like, oh, they're under my control. But as they start battling, they have like all their memories and stuff like that. And even Gajiel and Levy, like, they make reference how the 2 of them are a couple and how Levy's pregnant. But it's like, aren't they under complete control? What the hell, man? So I just thought that was an inconsistency. I'll bring it up again once we get to the fight. But they're saying, join us or die. And Mirajane failed, so Elfman and Lasana start beating on her, and they're like, what are you doing? You guys never done that before, which they never have. They're like the loving family there, the 2 sisters and the brother, so, showing Toka's powers, I suppose. And as they're cornered here, wondering what happened to their friends, it cuts back over to Juvia, saying they're under the control of the White Mage, and we have to rescue them. But Juvia can't use her magic right now, so they start chasing them. And just in the nick of time when they attack, Wendy appears and raises their status elements. It's like a JRPG. And Gray uses Ice Wall to block them, but they call upon Loxus, who breaks it with 1 punch. I mean, what do you expect? And Toka's plan here, there's the 5 cities and these orbs around each city. And if she destroys all 5 orbs, that will supposedly drain Alderaan's power so she can use it for herself. That's her goal right there. That's what she did with Mercphobia. She tried to steal his powers, but Natsu stopped her. So that's just recap for what happened there. And they're like, well, we got to get out of here and think of a plan. So then Toka's rallying her troops to kill them and crush the, well, not really kill them, but to turn, Team Natsu to her side and destroy all the orbs. So Natsu's all fired up. Oh, I'm fired up. I'll fight them all. The Battle of Fairy Tail in Drazel. I'm burning to get started. Look at Lucy like, calm down, will you freak? And he wants to fight them all at once and show his powers. This is like a challenge for Natsu. We get a beautiful shot of Lucy playing, what's she playing there? Volleyball? But yeah, he's just racing there. I love Natsu, man. I can take on Loxus, Gajiel, Mira, Jalal. They're all mine. Mine. And there's a, watch yourself, Natsu. We gotta help you. And she's wondering what Jalal's doing there. Always meddling in my affairs. So we got the different factions here. Again, like they're all under Toka's control, right? That's what they say. But we have the factions, like Levy, Gajiel, Panther Lily, Loxus and the Thunder God tribe, Mira Jane and her brother and sister, Jalal's by himself, the Jobbers, and Makarov. Which I guess of all the Jobbers, Kana shouldn't be there. She's more powerful than the rest of them, but And then we have everyone else is scattered, going to the 5 different orbs to protect them while also fighting. I don't think that's furthest from Natsu's mind. He just wants to fight, but the others are going to try to protect the orbs. So Juvia's like, oh, protect defenseless Juvia. I can't help you because I don't have any powers, but stay close to me. Oh, look at this. Just stay close to me. Say that again. Say those wonderful words one more time, Gray Sama. Look how close she is to him. Oh, so sweet. Because Gray kind of did confess his love to her, to Juvina, right? The alter ego of Juvia from the last volume. So this is very similar to Battle of Fairy Tail. Again, a lot of callbacks because Gray did face off against Bixlow last time. Except now it's Bixlow, Freed, and Evergreen. And he mocks them like, oh, you worship this white mage. I thought you were worshippers of Loxus. So he's fighting them. Then Lucy comes in contact with the Strauss family. So she summons Loki. And Loki's like, I can't take all 3 of them right there. So she summons Virgo. And they do the Stardust transformation. So Lucy is wearing the Leo Stardust, looking so nice. Ready to throw down 3-on-3. We cut to Natsu, who mopped up the 2 jobbers, Macau, Wakaba, and Romeo. And then Gajiel shows up, like, hey, Salamander. And he calls him Salamander, which that's what he called him way back when during the Phantom Lord arc. So again, look at such a contrast from Mira and Elfin and Lasana ready to fight to, oh, we're in the garden just watering the plants. Like, what? So through the fight, they mentioned it's been a long time since they had a one-on-one, and now they have new powers, right? With Gajiel's battle against Rogue during the Grand Magic Games, he's now a Shadow Iron Dragon, and Natsu, after his battle against Hades, is a Lightning Fire Dragon. So they utilize their new powers. They're taking hits, like bleeding all over the place, but it's like, I'll take you. So that's when Gajiel uses the Iron Shadow Dragon's Club, and Natsu says, oh, I can do one better. Here it is. Lightning Fire Dragon Mode. And they're just going to town. And then it even cuts to Panther Lily and Happy fighting each other. And Panther Lily is afraid of thunder and lightning. So he hears the lightning and it makes him flinch. And then Happy just happens to be carrying around this fish in his backpack. So he hits Panther Lily on the backside of the head. It's like, yeah, I knocked him out. I beat Lily. So we get this epic pose. Mira Jane transforms using her Satan Soul. And this weirdo, oh, if you're going to torment someone, please let it be me. I love being humiliated. Like, what? Now she's getting hit. She's getting, oh, yes, I love it. May I ask for another? Mira Jane Sama. What a freak. No, I love Virgo. And Loki simping for his girl Lucy here. I will do this all for my bride to protect you. She's my bride, Loki. Back off. So yeah, everyone else is using their transformation abilities. Like Elfin's got his beast soul, he turns into a lion. Lasana turns into a little cat girl, and they're just fighting. So now Lucy utilizes her new ability, Star Dress Mix, where she can use whoever the two spirits she has out, cross the two star dresses over, and we have the Leo Virgo form. And she looks like a literal angel. I mean, just look at her. So beautiful. I love it. But because she just recently learned this ability, she can only use it for a short amount of time. Another great shot of Lucy. And there you go. That's Loki admiring Lucy yet again and starts fighting. But now Lasana turns into the nine-tailed fox. What the hell? Is this Naruto? So she does this awesome attack, Leon Maiden, and is able to defeat Lasana. But by doing that one attack, she lost her powers and reverts back to just the Leo form. So, and then Elfin, what a badass he is. And look at Mira Jane. Holy crap. So they're pretty much unfazed by that attack, except for Lasana. And somehow Virgo's all tied up. I failed you, princess. Sorry. So Toka is like, oh, destroyed the remaining orbs. What are you doing? So Urza takes care of Jet and Droy, two other jobbers from the Fairy Tale Guild. But we see this one here guarding the orb, and it's Jalal. So Urza re-equips to her more powerful armor, right? And then as she does that, because she's hardly wearing any clothes, Jalal says, well, let me do one better. Come at me. And he strips to his undies. Well, why'd you strip? What are you doing? So the battles are continuing. Juvia's cowering behind. And as Gray's fighting Evergreen, she's getting all jealous. Like, oh, steam's got out her head. Poor Juvia. That's such a cute drawing. I love it. But Gray decides, well, before that, Freed does the Jutsu Shiki, so Gray can no longer use ice magic. And in retaliation, Gray decides to use his Devil Slayer magic that his father Silver passed on to him. And again, his badass transformation. I like this too. This continues throughout the rest of these remaining volumes in like 5, 6, and 7, I think, where it shows where all the battles are taking place. So that's cool. Yeah, that's the first Ur destroyed, and I think Toka's hanging out in the middle. So there you go, in case you forget. And he transforms, so naturally everyone else will transform. We have Freed with Absolute Shadow, Dark Equiture. But Gray takes care of him. Evergreen gets taken care of, loses her clothes, of course. And that's that. And then they try to do their eye magic to control him. Well, I think her stone eyes turns him to stone, and then he can control him as a puppet. But it doesn't work because he's a devil. He's got the devil magic. And he defeats him, and then he's like, oh, I feel bad because I had to beat up my own friends. So back over here, again, like I understand they're being controlled by Toka, but these two are just beating the shit out of each other, and then all of a sudden Levi shows up, and is like, you can't hurt Gagio, and that's because the two of them are a thing. Levi's pregnant with their kid. So it's like, you know, if they're the puppets of Toka being controlled, how does this make any sense? Like, I understand the scene, like, and I like it. But it kind of is inconsistent with the story that was established earlier, how they're mindless puppets of Toka. But anyway. So it's a sweet moment. You get a flashback of Levi being pregnant, which just was kind of explained in the final episode and like the final chapter of the original fairy tale, how, you know, the two of them are lovers. So that's nice. Anyway, she uses solid script carriage because of Natsu's motion sickness. And then again, like if they're mind control slaves, now they're embracing like, oh, you're my number one Gajo, I love you. It's like, what? So anyway, back over here we got Urza fighting Jalal. And then Wendy comes across this area, which, yeah, there's actually Diabolos makes an appearance here. We meet two new members. But she comes here, sees the Fairy Tale Guild members caught in spider's webs, and meets this weirdo, Nabarro, who is a, I guess, spider dragon guy. New prey. So Wendy's afraid of bugs, too, which, I don't know if you guys remember that, but I remember it. And starts fighting him, but gets caught in the web. And he's going to eat her. And this is when he reveals that he's a mage of Diabolos and is going to eat you because you smell like a dragon. No, don't eat me. So yeah, Scullion Kyria and Madmol of Diabolos are here as well, and they're looking on like, ooh, are those two simpletons going to get it done? There's Nabora and Reyes, who we see later on as well, who are doing their bidding, and they're like, oh, we're going to devour Alderaan, which Alderaan is like, I mean, you already saw how big he is. There's 5 different cities on his back, so how the hell are they going to eat him? I guess slowly but surely. But always good to see Kyria again, because she's hot as hell. And she has the faintest whiff of her pet, which of course is Urza. And as she says that, it cuts to Urza being a cat girl. Meow, meow, I'm a kitty cat, y'all. So instead of trying to fight him, now she's going to seduce him with all her different armor requips. So she does the cat girl, then she turns into the bunny girl, then into the swimsuit model. Then, like, what's the naming convention here? The Gothic Lolly. I mean, there's nothing lolly about Urza, but she is a pretty hot goth girl, that's for sure. And Jalal likes that. And then even the revealing armor. Which one does it for you? Well, to be honest, I would have to go with this outfit. I mean, completely honest with you, but they're all pretty good. All pretty good. So, Jalal jumps on top of her, which again, how the hell is he being controlled? Now his sexual desires are taking over. So as he does that, Loxus appears and is like, you fools, we have to destroy the orb. What are you doing? And Ursa quickly turns back to her normal armor. And now Loxus and Jalal, because they actually ran into each other, I think it was volume 2, and they were going to fight, but they didn't. So they're like, oh, let's fight now. And then Kyria shows up. Like, whoa, man, look at her. And Urza's afraid. And she smells a dragon because, of course, Loxus is a dragon slayer. So, back over here to Lucy and Loki getting attacked. Gray and Juvia tying up the Thunder God tribe. Natsu on the carriage, which he gets stopped by this new character, Reyes, the spirit dragon of Diabolos. And he's questioning how Natsu can see him, because no one can see him. He's a ghost. I think in the later volume they reveal his name is Wraith. So Natsu remembers that he's part of the Diabolos Guild, and his attacks can't do anything because, well, he's a ghost. But he keeps trying to punch him, despite it not working. And Reyes. Reyes, same difference. I'm getting ahead of myself. But Happy's questioning why Natsu is punching air because he doesn't see anybody. And that's when he says, I'm a ghost. So back over here to Wendy. She's ready to get devoured by this guy. When she breaks free... I love this, man. Look how cute she is. She breaks free. She's like, oh, I'm running. And she falls. The poor girl. The poor clumsy girl. So we got the showdown. We got these 4 guys right here. Ready to go. And Urza's pondering what Diabolos is doing here. And they're like, oh, well, obviously they're going to devour Alderaan. But I question, how are you going to eat Alderaan? So while they're being distracted, she's like, well, maybe I'll take this orb and hide it so then it destroy it. And then back over here, oh my god, look at Virgo. Tighter, please, tighter. You freak. Virgo. So Lucy said, enough of you two. Let's summon Tauros. So she transforms into her Tauros form and then uses Gemini to turn into Lasana to distract Mira Jane. But while that's going on, we see Mad Mole, and Scullion, who knocked them out. And Lucy's like, oh shit, what do we do now? So they start fighting Diabolos. And I get some cool shots here. Mad Mole, the armor dragon, of course. And they can't do any damage to him. When all of a sudden, a snake coils around Lucy. And this is like so sexual, man. I love it though. But Lasana is trying to corrupt Lucy and turn her into a pawn of Toka, the white mage, as well. And just the way that they like, I'm gonna die, you whites. Come on, Lucy. And just the way she's like looking into her eyes, like, come on, Lucy, let's go. Like, look at this, like she's gonna kiss her. But anyway, so back over here, Kyria starts fighting against Loxus. And at the same time, we have Urza and Jalal resume their battle. And he decides to grab her. And again, like the sexual innuendos here. Now come, I will dye you white. Like what? Right now, it's more important to dye you white. Which again, I keep going back to this. Like early on in this volume, they're the pawns of Toka the White Mage, but now they all have their personalities back and are just going about their business. So is Toka even really controlling them? I feel like that's a plot point that was dropped halfway through. But anyway, so Natsu's trying to say, like, come on, Happy, don't see him? Like, don't put that cat in my face. And what Reyes does is he starts using his dragon spirit attacks, and he turns, well, he grabs Natsu's soul from his body. Like, that's Natsu's body falling, and he grabs his soul. Your soul is mine, to be continued. And then we get this cute little side story about Gagio. Levy's like, oh, look at all those scars. But I love him anyway. So, some good stuff. I enjoyed this volume. It was cool to see some new characters. I love Lucy's transformation. Again, Lucy's my favorite girl, my waifu. And, you know, some good stuff. But some of the inconsistencies with the characters being controlled by Toka, but then also, oh, we're not being controlled by Toka, we have our own desires. Kind of strange. And who didn't love this? Leave a comment down below if you made it this far. Which Urza transformation is your favorite? Because I gotta be honest with you, I like the Gothic Lolly. I think that's sexy. But they're all good. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and we'll talk to you next time. Peace out.